Hi, my name is Shiva Reinhardt from the Blue Lotus Healing Arts Center in Ruidoso, New Mexico. This is a beginner's yoga class. Thank you for joining me. This is a good way to sit. You can fold a blanket over a few times, and you want to sit in such a way so that the flesh of your butt is on the cushion, but the sit bones are sliding forward and off the cushion. So you can see how I'm kind of slanted there. But then that gives a really good way for the spine to sit upright. And it's nice to start sitting. We're not going to be sitting for too long here, but if you do need a chair for sitting, that's fine to use for yoga practice as well if there's a meditation portion. It's not really important how your legs are positioned. What matters is that your spine is upright. So if you need a chair to do that, you're welcome to sit in a chair. And just breathing deeply through the nose. Slow and deep breaths. Getting connected to your body and your breath. And we'll begin our breathing meditation by laying down. It's very easy to get in touch with the breath while we're laying down. Especially when you first start, sometimes there can be some back pain when you sit up for too long. So if you want to tuck the tailbone and lay the lower back on the ground, it's very useful to have a pillow or blanket under the knees and under the head. And then we'll begin by feeling the breath in the upper chest. So bring your hands there. Bring your hands to your upper chest near your collarbones with your thumbs in your armpits. This is so that we can feel the rib cage and feel for getting the breath to fill up the rib cage. Those ribs should be spreading apart. You're breathing through the nose, slow and deep, filling up the upper rib cage. And next, filling up the lower rib cage. So bring your hands to the lower ribs. And very deep breath, feeling the lower ribs expanding. You could even bring your fingers to feel the space in between the ribs. Feel if you're getting that space bigger. Also, we're using Ujjayi breath here. Ujjayi breath is a whisper breath, or like a hissing breath. This helps to strengthen our diaphragm, helps to slow down the breath. And now, breathing into the lower belly, you can bring your hands to your lower abdomen, and slow and deep breath, ballooning out the belly. And then bringing your arms by your sides, we'll breathe into all three of those areas now. So very deep breath, it doesn't matter which order, just so long as you're using your whole torso, using your full breath capacity. Slow, deep Ujjayi breath. Also noticing your mind throughout the practice, letting go of distracting thoughts. You can hug the knees in, either wrapping your arms around the outsides of the shins or behind the knees around the hamstrings, whichever feels better to you. And hugging the knees in tight. Lengthening the lower back, the tailbone towards the ground. And then we'll gently rock from side to side. This gives a nice massage to the lower back. And then the next pose is happy baby pose. Taking your hands to the inner arches of your feet with the knees bent at a right angle so that your feet are lined up over the knees and the knees are moving towards the ground beside your rib cage. It's a great hip opener. So just relax the legs and breathe deep into the lower belly. Using each exhale to press the feet down, to move the knees a little bit closer towards the ground. Now remember, none of these poses should cause any strain. Sometimes you may feel a small amount of discomfort just because it's something you've never done before. But it should never be actually painful. If you want to straighten the legs here, it's optional. Some of you, especially brand new beginners, may not be able to straighten the legs, but some of you will, just depending on your body type. Some people are more naturally flexible than others. If you do straighten the legs, send your heels out, press through the backs of the knees. And then we'll release that, just letting the legs go down. And then rolling over onto your side, using your hands to press yourself up to sitting. And then we'll come all the way up to standing. Positioning yourself on the wall with your hands a little lower than shoulder distance. Your feet should be hip distance apart. And relaxing your heart towards the ground. Relaxing your neck. Very deep breath into the rib cage, underneath the shoulder blades. Sending your hips back towards the center of the room. And doing that gives us some traction to the spine, lengthens the spine. So this is a great shoulder opener, backs of the legs opener. And then walking the hands down, maybe 6 inches. As you do that, turn the sit bones up towards the sky. Turn the front of the hip bone down towards the thigh. This is going to help lengthen the backs of the legs. And then walking the hands down a little bit more. We're really working on keeping the spine as straight as possible to help protect the lower back while we stretch the back of the body. And then if you want to walk your hands down a little more, now it's okay if you keep your hands in the original position. That's totally fine. For many of us, that's already going to be a fantastic stretch. Some of you will want to walk your hands down, so just do what feels good, what feels right. Don't cause yourself any pain. Make sure whatever position you're in, you can take a deep breath. That's the most important. Now you may want to bring your hands down to a block or a book if you want even more hamstring stretch. And some of you may be able to touch the floor. It doesn't matter where your hands are. It matters that you can take a deep breath, that you can be conscious in your body. And then to come up, we're going to lift the spine so that it's parallel to the ground. Bring your hands to your hips and then inhale and lift all the way up to standing. And then take a breath. Notice how you feel. And then we'll come down onto the ground once again for a twist. So you can sit with your legs in simple, easy cross-legged position. Bring your right hand behind you. Bring your left hand onto the right knee. Take an inhale and lift up through your heart, lift up through the crown of your head, and exhale, twist to your right. So using the leverage of your arms to twist your torso around. But let's keep the neck relaxed. So bring your chin so that it lines up with the center of your chest. And you can look down at your chest to check it out, see where it is. But don't crane the neck around. For most of us that already have too much neck tension, it's just going to create more. And then we'll inhale and come back to center. Exhale to the other side, reaching the left hand behind you, the right hand onto the left knee, and take an inhale, lift up, lift your heart, lift the crown of your head, and exhale, twist to your left. Relaxing that neck, so bring that head back around. And very slow, deep breath into the ribs. Grounding down through both sit bones. And then we'll slowly inhale and release. Next pose is bridge pose or Setu Bandhasana. First, let's line the feet up. So you want your feet to be about a foot apart, no wider than your body, a little bit wider than your sit bones distance, and you want your toes to point forward so that your heels are actually a little bit out and your toes are a little bit in. And I'm just sitting that way at first to show you my feet really clearly. So preparing, get your feet lined up, foot apart, heels out, toes in a little bit. Bring the heels close to your torso. Lift your toes up. Now your toes are off the ground, but the ball of your foot is pressing into the ground. And then inhale, tuck your tailbone, lift the pelvis up, and then we're going to curl back down. Exhale, curling, upper back sets down, then middle back, then lower back, then tailbone. And then inhale, arch your spine away from the ground. Exhale, press your lower back into the ground, lift tailbone up, lift rib cage up, lift chest up, deep inhale here. And then exhale, curl the tailbone, put your upper back down, your middle back down, lower back, and then tailbone. Inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, press the lower back down, lift tailbone up, lift rib cage up, lift heart up, deep inhale. And then exhale, curl it down. So we're opening up the spine this way, curling all the way down, tailbone sets down last. Inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, press lower back down, lift tailbone up, lift rib cage up, lift heart up, deep inhale. And then exhale, curl down. Upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone. Inhale, arch the spine up off the ground. Exhale, press the lower back down. Lift tailbone, lift rib cage, lift heart. And let's stay here for several breaths. Pressing your feet down evenly as you lift the toes up. Feel for making the legs alive with that press. Very deep breath. Important to tuck the tailbone here to give the lower back good alignment, protect our lower back. So it's as if you're a dog tucking its tail between its legs. Very strong tailbone tuck. And then lifting the heart towards the chin. And then we'll come down. Same way, curling, curling, curling. Tuck the tailbone, upper back, middle back, and then finally lower back. Sets down. And then stretch the legs out. Take a deep breath and feel your body. Feel what sensations that created. And then we're going to bend the knees, roll over onto your side. Again, use your hands to push yourself up so that your torso can remain relatively relaxed. And then onto the knees, you want to line up the knees under the hips and walk your hands forward a lot. Most people, when they start this pose, their hips are too far back. So you're not sitting towards your heels at all. Your hips are right over your knees and your hands are as far forward as you can walk them. And then you're relaxing the heart towards the ground. It's a very similar feeling in the shoulders to when we had the hands on the wall. This is a nice preparatory pose for downward dog. This pose is called Anahata Asana, or heart chakra pose. So we're putting our heart chakra towards the ground. Breathing underneath the shoulder blades. And you can inhale and come up, and now we'll sit back towards the heels for child's pose. If that hurts your knees at all, you can just sit up or lay on the ground. Balasana, child's pose. For many people, it's a good resting pose. In the middle of asana practice, you can take this pose to rest. Resting your head towards the ground. Letting go all tension. Another modification with that one is to bring your knees wide. That will help some of you. And the next pose is downward dog. So turn around so that your heels are facing the wall. And you want your toes to be a few inches away from the wall. Hands should be shoulder distance apart. And we're going to straighten the legs. Now you want to walk your feet so that when you press your heels down towards the wall, you're feeling a stretch in the backs of the legs. If you're so close to the wall that the back of your legs don't feel any stretch, then you need to walk your feet forward a little bit. And some of you may be able to get very close to the floor, some of you may not. And so, when you first start practicing downward dog, you may look a little more like this, with your torso forward over your wrists, just because we're still building flexibility. But eventually you'll be moving towards sending your weight back towards the heels. So just knowing that that's the progression that we're working towards in downward dog. We're sending the hips back, the heels down. Wrapping the shoulder blades, so drawing the shoulder blades down the back, away from the neck. And then go ahead and bend your knees, set your knees down on the ground. And sit back again for child's pose. If you'd like to bring your knees wide, and make a pillow with your hands so that your forehead can rest. And relax. Then we'll inhale and come up to sitting, and then come all the way up to standing for a couple standing poses. Stepping with your left foot against the wall, and your right knee bent at a right angle. Arms extended out by your sides. So we're using the wall as a tool here to help you press that left leg. You want the pinky toe side of the foot pressing into the wall and pressing into the ground at the same time. Your right foot, the toes are lifted up, and the ball of your foot is pressing down into the ground. Very deep breath. Sink the hips down. Working on getting that right leg parallel with the ground. And then straightening the right leg, bringing your arms down, and switching. Now to put the right foot against the wall, the left knee bent at a right angle, and the arms extended. Shoulder distance. But your shoulders are sliding down. So notice if they creep up towards your ears, slide the shoulders down. Very deep breath. Lift your left toes and sink down in the left knee. You can gaze out over the left fingertips. And then straighten the left leg, let the arms come down, and we'll walk the feet together and come back onto the ground. For Janu Shirshasana, bend your left knee and bring your left foot near the groin and extend the right leg on the ground. Deep inhale, lengthen, reach the arms up, exhale. As you fold at the hip crease, you're reaching the heart forward. And you can bring your hands to hold on wherever they reach. That might be the shin, the ankle, the foot. But relax your head down. Let the back of the neck be long. And very deep breath here. Let the inhale undulate your spine, so inhale reaches the heart forward, exhale folds a little deeper. And then we'll inhale and lift up out of that, switching legs. Extend the left leg long and bend the right knee so that the right foot comes close in. Inhale, reach the arms up, lift your heart, exhale, lengthen forward slowly as you fold. And so that left leg, we're pressing it towards the ground. Relaxing the neck. Relaxing the jaw. Slow deep breath into any part of your back that feels like it's getting stretched out. Relaxing the mind, letting go. And we'll inhale and come up. Come out of that pose. And now if you have a couple blankets, you can fold them, make a little pile for legs up the wall. So you want to come sideways next to the wall and turn, rotate your body so that your legs come up the wall. It's a little bit awkward getting in. After you do it a few times, it'll be easy. And then lift your hips up and slide your blankets underneath the hips. So this is our final resting pose that we're doing with the legs up the wall. It helps to relieve any discomfort in the legs from standing or working for long periods. So a great pose to do at the end of a long day. And so just relax your whole body. Relax your eyes. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue. Let your breathing be natural here. Free the breath. We spend a long time controlling the breath in yoga. It's good to learn breath control. It's also good to be able to let go of that control. Let the breath breathe you. Relaxing your inner ear. Relaxing your throat. We do a relaxation pose at the end of every yoga practice. Very important part of the practice. To rest in stillness, which is something so many of us never do. It's important to give yourself this gift of stillness. In the stillness is when the body's own healing mechanisms can come to work. And letting go of any thoughts. They may come in, just letting them go out just as easily. And I recommend you rest here for as long as you like. Maybe 5 minutes. 10 is even better. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.